Hello to everybody, our dear subscribers. Today is 24th of October 2018, and we start our everyday analysis of how to trade major currencies during next couple of sessions. Let's say so, because you know that every day we are coming with our point of view regarding different currency pairs, and usually we try to cover a short-term horizon, predicting of how major currencies or some other pairs could evolve in the very distant, in the very in the very short-term run. And today, as you could see, the situation still remains rather fragile from the point of view of risk-friendly sentiment, because you know probably now is the situation when risk aversion factors are playing a major role for the major currencies. And today, despite of some nervousness associated with Italian budget deficit or with a Brexit negotiation process, we have another example, another negative example for the risk-friendly sentiment in the form of slumping United States stock indices. And it's not a surprise, because you know that the constant hiking of its benchmark interest rates from the part of the Federal Reserve sooner or later should affect the asset market of the United States. And now we could feel that probably more clearly than before. And of course, next round of increases of the Fed funds rate, of course, will mostly depend not only on economic situation in the United States, but also with asset market and with the situation in the stock market of the United States. And of course, the Fed should consider this situation, should take into account the situation with the asset market when will decide the future of its interest rates in the during the next couple of meetings. With another one, the next one, as I remember, is scheduled for December. And of course, it's not boding well for the United States currency. It's mostly a big plus, for example, for so-called safe haven currencies. Among them is Japanese yen, and as you could see during previous trading session, Japanese yen even touched the level of 112. Anyway, it was a kind of short-term short-term effect, had only a short-term effect, and now the dollar yen is trading about 112 and a half. The situation still remains unpredictable, let's say so, probably. Really very interesting and very unclear for the dollar yen. Right now we prefer to stand aside and will enter a short position only in case of overshooting of the level of 113.20 with a stop above 113.50. As regarding the dollar Swiss, another safe haven, here the situation still the same, because for the last sessions we see that the situation still remains rather stable for the Swiss franc. Probably we need another kind of momentum to worsen regarding the Italian budget deficit for the Swiss franc starting to appreciate more strongly. At the moment, the situation still remains quite stable for the Swiss franc. The dollar Swiss still trading around 0.9950, and not very far from important level of the parity level. And all in all, we still keep our short trade recommendation in the dollar Swiss with a stop above the parity level. We will be ready to add to existing short position in case of overshooting of the level of 0.9990 with very close stop loss. Cable. Here the situation still remains quite nervous because the Brexit negotiations still inside of impasse, and that means that probably the cable or some other stellar crosses will remain under the downside pressure in the next couple of sessions, and only probably some kind of verbal interventions, let's say so, from the part of European Union or UK regarding improvement in the Brexit negotiation process could change the situation for the better side for the cable. Now cable is trading around 129.80, still remains quite volatile, and here we could recognize a kind of important, let's say a strong kind of support around the level of 129.20, and in case of for the really change the situation for the better side, I mean for the bulls, the pair should break above 131.90, where lies important 2018 downtrend in the currency. As regarding the some other currency pairs, among them we are discussing euro crosses. Here we still keep our average short recommendation in the euro sterling, but again a lot of will depend with the situation with the tail end budget of Brexit. All in all, here the situation is really very tricky. In some other pairs, as you could see, we still remain empty. We still prefer to stand aside and wait for better levels from the risk-reward consideration to enter some new position, and such kind of currencies, for example, like Euro Swiss or Euro Yen. And a few words about commodity block of currencies, where we still keep our short trade recommendation in the dollar Canada, and probably today is the date of Canadian dollars, because today is the date of a rate decision, Bank of Canada's rate decision, where most traders, most analytics predict that Bank of Canada will raise its benchmark interest rate. All in all, here the situation still remains quite interesting, because a lot will depend on the following press conference, how the chief of the Bank of Canada will describe the situation with trading situation between United States and Canada, how he will describe the situation with Canadian economy itself. And all in all, probably we should understand that the market is mostly pricing in today's interest rate hike. That's why probably dollar Canada is more exposed to trend higher than to trend lower. Anyway, let's wait a little bit for the final decision, which is scheduled for the 14 Greenwich time. As regarding some other currencies, we still remain more or less empty. Here we still keep only a small position in the Australian dollar with a stop below a psychological important level of 70. Thank you for all of your attention regarding our channel. See you tomorrow, as usually the same time. Be with your future trend. Bye bye for now.